Hey everybody, I'm Jeffrey Viscaino for Playbill, and I'm here with one of my favorite performers on Broadway right now, Eva Noblezada, and then country music pop star icon Orville Peck. Hi guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So good. I am not gonna lie, I have been looking forward to this all week to talk to both of you. You're going into Cabaret on March 31st. I mean, how's it been going so far for each of you?
Crazy.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's a very quick process, and with a show like this that, I think has a lot of obviously light and fun and there's great musical numbers, but there's also a sort of depth to this show that I think both of us really want to achieve, and so it's a fast slope to get there.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Eva, I know for you this has been a dream role. Sally Bowles has been a dream for you for a very long time. What is it about her that you have just wanted to get your fingers into?
I feel like Sally has always been one of those characters that is, you know, misunderstood. And I wish I could go back in time and watch Natasha and so many other brilliant actresses who have gone in, Jane Horks, like so many amazing Sallys that that I wished I could have seen to see like their their perspective on it and how nuanced and what complexities they bring into the role and what they want to highlight. But what I think is beautiful about also Rebecca Frecknell's vision of this is that it's kind of an ever-growing, complex show, which gives like Orville and I space to kind of discover new things, or not discover new things, but like put ourselves and what we see for the character into the performance versus like this is what it is, go in, do this, stand on seven, sing this, and that's the role. So for me it's been fun but also like somewhat spooky dooky, like doing the research and like stepping into her shoes and being like, yes, it's a fun number, it's a fun show. At the same time, the themes of the show are extremely dark and extremely real, and so the holding both of those extremes and putting it into a character who in my opinion is unhinged but knows who she is, and also like party girl but deeply introspective is really challenging and something that I'm very thankful for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orville, I mean, we know you as this amazing country singer, but I mean, maybe some of our followers don't know. You started in theater, kind of stepped back from that to then pursue music career. Was going back to theater or Broadway like always like at the end of the tunnel for you, or did this kind of come as a surprise? This coming now after Broadway?
I mean, I think it was always a hope of mine that I would do it, and it wasn't something I was focused on obtaining, and then the stars kind of aligned in a lot of ways because this has been my dream role since I was like 14 years old, and so when I got asked if I wanted to audition, I kind of lost my mind. And I was on tour, and I remember I sent a self-tape. I was, playing in Chicago at Wrigley Field, and I sent a self-tape from, like, the, like, basement of Wrigley Field. And, then, I kinda just put it out of my mind because I'm sort of the school of, like, just assume I didn't get it first so I don't have any disappointment, and I just kind of, like, put it out of my mind. And then when I got the offer, I was like, "Okay, well, here we go." It was like a dream come true. Yeah.
There's so much of the show that I love with the direction of it. One thing that I think is really cool, and you have some past experience about it, is working on a round table in the show. You just got back from going back to the round table with Hadestown. I've asked people in the past, what is it like to rehearse a round table? Because in the rehearsal room, you don't have it. So you're rehearsing and then you kind of get like propelled into when you're doing to then be in the round table. What is that like?
I mean, listen, I've done plays in the round, and that's one thing, but a musical in the round, it's really jarring because you are sending energy in every literally 360 direction. And, then in this show, I don't want to give away too much, but there's a lot of, automation, like things that happen to the stage, especially with both of us. And like, I mean, that can be very jarring when you're like, suddenly you're like, oh, I'm 8 feet in the air or I'm, below the stage or whatever else happens. It's like kind of like being on a roller coaster, but it's amazing. It's a whole other skill, but it's really fun.
It's fun. I think also too, like, it helps with the elements of like pushing your energy out to different to every single seat, but also like it kind of reminds me in the moment that I don't need to like go over the top to send my attention to a seat in the balcony. Like the revolve kind of exposes you to every angle and every facet of the theater. So it kind of, in a way, for me, assists me. Like in one of the scenes, I won't say which one, but we're all on it and it's all slowly turning us around. Like I always get goosebumps when we only rehearsed it twice with automation. But I always get goosebumps because I've seen the show and I remember how profound it was to sit there and just no one's moving, but you're seeing everyone's face and you're seeing what everyone is thinking and feeling. And it's it's modern technology at its finest in the theater because it's almost like a movie, like watching everything. And I think that's part of of maybe what the brilliant director wanted to put into this show is like it's in your face and it's not something that's far away. Like you find yourself being a part of something in a scary way where you go, "Ooh, am I safe?"
Well, it makes it also feel really intimate. Like any seat in this theater. I mean, I'm always shocked. Like, I think this theater seats over 1,000 people, but I mean,
Yeah.
anywhere. Like, I've seen the show a million times here, and it doesn't feel like that. It feels so intimate, and I think for this show and the subject matter and the whole kind of journey of these characters, you feel like you're up close with them. It doesn't feel like a typical production where it's like, oh, I'm watching it. The stage is down there. That's nice. Like you feel immersed in the story. It's really, really amazing.
Well, speaking about the story, what I've loved about Cabaret through the many years is that while it's a show about a particular time, it always finds a way to talk about what's currently going on in our country. Does it feel impactful right now to be performing a show right now in a time where people are saying that what they're seeing in Cabaret feels a lot like what's going on right now in the world around us?
Of course, it's impactful, but it's also shakes me to my core just knowing that like, oh, we're in a time period of, a certain part of the 30s right before um the Nazis regime in Germany and in Berlin, and it is too real. That's how I've been feeling, and it makes me feel off of my balance to look on the TV and see that Nazis in America, and it is terrifying. And at the same time, like I left the show when I saw it with Gail and Eddie, feeling exhausted, inspired, and also like chillingly connected to the fact that like history sometimes repeats itself unless we as a people rise to the occasion of understanding that we are absolutely in charge of change. And I don't know if I have the answers of what to do amongst the temperature of the politics right now in America, and it makes me feel a little helpless, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But at the same time, like I'm grateful that I get to come to work with people who feel the same way and feel active and feel inspired and passionate and ready to tell this story and to educate themselves and the audiences that come into the show and realize that it's a musical, it's Broadway. We're singing and dancing, but at the same time, there's a message, an underlying message that's at the surface right now. And it's if we ignore it, and it's one of the lines that Cliff says in the show. It's like if you're not against something, then you might as well be for it. Which is when I get told that in the show every night, it's not just a reminder to Sally. It absolutely speaks to me, to my skeleton. So I hope that audiences come into the show and they feel the same way, considering the fact that this country is going wackadoodle, and that we all have. I don't know. I don't have the answers because I'm also equally disturbed.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do not think I can finish this interview without talking about Orville. I'm sure everyone's been talking about it. Many an article has been written about, like, will we see him unmasked in the show? But I know you are wearing a mask for portions of the show. Is that right? Or tell me what can we expect?
No mask at all.
What is that like? I mean, you've had this like persona for such a long time, this kind of mystery behind you, and then for this show, kind of like letting it go. What is that like for you as an individual as well as as a performer?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's really scary because I've gotten so used to, it's such a part of me. But look, I mean, I really wanted to make a point of coming into this production as, an actor as well, and to give this show the integrity and the respect that it deserves and is needed, especially right now. And so I would never have wanted to make it, about me, like the Orville Peck show, and incorporate anything personal about me into the show. It's like I'm here to play a role. And it's as simple as that. It was never even a question for me.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm talking to two very fashionable people right here. Just, I mean, looking at you right now, you can tell. But what I love about this show, on a side note, obviously the message, but like the visual of the show, the fashion, the makeup is so cool about that. Have you guys gotten full like glammed into it? And what is that like when you first stepped into the costume?
Oh yeah, I live for it because like I never get to wear makeup. I mean, even when I do like this, like I'm not, obviously like there's no makeup even involved in this for me. So I love it, and they were very. The thing I really love about this production is that it is such a diverse cast in every possible way of the word. And everybody that has stepped into not only the leading roles, but every role in the show, the production has been very uh set on making it true to whatever that performer is bringing to that particular role. And so like with me, for instance, they changed up my makeup plot, my wigs, my like everything I'm doing is completely different than Adam or Eddie or anyone else. And but I think that really speaks to the integrity and authenticity of this production, is that we want to see real people up there bringing their particular perspective and experience. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about it.
For you, Eva?
I think it's so fierce. And I remember getting into the look for the first time and like being like, can I take a picture of this on my phone? It's just for myself. I won't post. But it's so it kind of like it's an out of body experience. I'm excited to like be in full get up, full makeup, wig,
Yeah.
and feel like, okay, this is like getting into the soil of it all.
Yeah, we're
Fun.
ready.
Yeah, we're effing ready.
Well, I cannot wait. Like I said before, March 31st, Broadway debut. Putting your stamp on another legendary character on Broadway. Thank you so much for talking with you guys. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
You.